Hey folks, welcome back to my latest video. And in this video, I want to talk to you what we all know is the disease model and a little bit more about positive psychology. But first of all, I just want you to kind of, before I talk about the disease model, I just want you probably always think of a psychologist. You can ring a psychologist or call a psychologist when there's something wrong with you, or you feel to have you or your kids or someone has some disorder. Let's call a psychologist. You probably never think to ring a psychologist to say, well, look, I'm getting on okay in life, but I'd like to do a lot better. I'd like to thrive. Um, but 100 years ago or so, that was what they would have done. And because psychology kind of had three main areas back then, and one was the disease model was to cure mental illness. The second part was to nurture, people with, talents and who seem to do extremely well in life, and have huge resilience and grit, and it's to learn from them. And then the third part was to promote happiness, and what's all the science behind that. But that all came to a sudden stop with the Second World War. And what happened was people were coming back from those wars with extreme mental disorders and, what they thought was shell shock, which we know now is post traumatic stress disorder. But they didn't know then, and they were coming back in their busloads, and the American government wasn't sure how to deal with them because it was so many of them, and they needed more help. So what the government tried to do over there was spend, and in the rest of Europe and stuff, it was spend millions on training people up with PhDs and bringing in new kind of courses into universities, so people could help with this disease model. Um, and what happened was the other two got left behind, unfortunately. And but we have come on leaps and bounds in the disease model, and we have all these disorders, and we can, put them all together now in groups. Like we've got sleep disorder, and many much more. ADHD, and we can label them. And as I say, it has great work being done. But unfortunately, there has been a huge increase in depression and anxiety and suicide in young people, and depression is just getting younger in people every year. So curing the disease, hasn't really worked, to be honest. And so this is what positive psychology is. It's to kind of start looking at those bits of, uh, research that was left behind, and how people can thrive. Because people want much more than to be fixed. They want to thrive, and we kind of focus on what's wrong with the kids or what's wrong with somebody. Oh, he's addicted to drugs or drink or whatever, and we focus on trying to fix that. We don't really focus on what's good about the person and why is that person, and learning of other people and introducing the skills, strategies, and tools to that person that they can implement into their lives to give them the same benefits of the person thriving. So, but, over the last 20 years, they've kind of learned, like, taking away something doesn't necessarily mean someone is going to do better. So that's what positive psychology, folks, is it kind of in a nutshell. So it is um, to move, a bit further up than you already are, and to not just be floating around and in a meh kind of situation. So it is kind of moving from the sickness model to the well-being model. So there's a bit more to it than that, but that's in a nutshell. I hope it makes a lot of sense to you, and give me a shout anytime you want to talk more about it and you'd like to learn the science behind human thriving. I would love to help. That's me over and out, and take care.